Nelson Pereira from bnetTV. Welcome to the Mobile World Congress 2013 in Barcelona. And with us is Carla Fitzgerald from SmithMicro. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you very much.
It's always great to be here in Barcelona. As always, it's a conference that keeps growing and growing, which means that the wireless industry is also growing as well with it. And every year we find ourselves having more and more people in these conferences. It goes to show that this is not just a regional or even a local or a small portion of the population, but it's a global event. And it's only growing. And besides the hardware and the communication equipment that is out there, there's always those companies that develop the application that makes that whole magic work together. Can you talk to us about those companies and what role they play in the ecosystem?
Absolutely. SmithMicro software has been in wireless connectivity for almost 30 years. The company right now provides broadband connectivity solutions, traffic management solutions for wireless operators, and also some applications that operators can use to help monetize their subscriber base. And our applications are also used by enterprises and device makers as well.
Very impressive. I couldn't say it better. Thank you so much. Anyway, but moving forward, if I'm a company and I'm looking to do business with your company, how do I reach out to you guys? And more importantly, how many years you guys been doing this in the business?
We've been in business for over 30 years. We're a public company in the United States, but we have a presence around the world. Our corporate headquarters is in Southern California, and we have a local presence in Europe based out of the UK. We have a local presence in Asia Pacific, also in Latin America, and we have a development center in Europe as well.
That pretty much covers it all. But anyway, having seen the industry itself, and one of the niches that I have seen in this market is the cloud services and the M2M devices that are starting to not only grow, but in the last 3 or 4 years that I've been coming here, the word cloud services, the word M2M devices, the words e-commerce was pretty much a lot of buzzwords that were only developing at this point. But as I come every year, it seems to be that this reality is not only a reality behind it, but actually the market is growing at a speedy rate, and the applications behind it actually following right behind.
It's absolutely true. I mean, everything's connected. You've seen here connected life, connected cars, connected everything. And there's a number of implications of that connectivity. First of all, the connections themselves need to be managed, and standards play an important role in that. And in fact, SmithMicro is participating in many of those standards. For example, the Mobile Broadband Interface Model, which is MBIM. That is a recent standard that's been commercially deployed first by Microsoft with their new Windows 8 devices. But it's a standard that can apply to many platforms. And in fact, SmithMicro had an announcement this week regarding the application of MBIM to other platforms, such as legacy Windows environments, Macintosh environments, Linux environments, etc. As this standard gets moved deeper into the operating system layers, the firmware layers, and even the chipsets, that standard will help to facilitate M2M and more devices coming online in an easily manageable way. The other aspect of connectivity is that it all generates data traffic. Everything that's connected is sending data over these cellular networks, and the operators are already struggling to manage the data traffic from user devices. So another area that SmithMicro is involved in that scenario is in our traffic management solutions called NetWise. We provide traffic connectivity solutions for operators so they can determine and move data traffic between 3G, 4G, and Wi-Fi networks to create a seamless experience for users and pretty soon for all the devices and automation that's going to be connected to the network as well.
You know, all the interviews that I've done this week, this is the first time actually I heard something that I, even myself, believe that is very strong, the ability to create standards. Every conversation that I have with anybody in the industry, we didn't discuss standards. And at the end of the day, no matter how many technology you would deploy, if you don't have the basis for standards, it becomes pretty much a Wild West. And the last thing you need is a wireless industry that doesn't have standards and the management products that are going to be managing those standards. If not, you will have to customize for that specific product. And the fact that your company is one of the first that I heard this, it shows not only the experience behind it, but it actually shows that this is the development portion of the industry that needs to be standardized.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been dealing with this issue for many years as a provider of software for broadband connectivity devices, the USB, plug-in devices, embedded modules, etc. We've had to deal with the device integration struggles that the device makers have operating with the various network interfaces, as well as the operators have with the various device platform interfaces. We've provided kind of that middleware to enable those heterogeneous platforms and networks to work together. But it's not efficient. It, wastes a lot of time, resources, and it delays device launches, and it delays the products from getting to market. So we've been working with the industry standard groups as well as with the operators and device makers to apply more standards to this connectivity so that devices can launch faster, and the operators and the device makers can focus on their differentiation, the features that they offer to the end users, and not on just making these components work together.
You just clarify a couple of things, because I was planning to write an article, and the only thing that I didn't think about was the standardization of the industry itself. And I'm glad that actually I spoke to you, because this is something that was totally needed, and I didn't even think about it. And I don't think a lot of people out there who actually invest in infrastructure are aware that the standard has to be followed, that everybody can talk to each other. If not, this is not a global wireless system. In addition, what else can you tell us about your company, especially now this year and pretty much 2013?
Well, we're certainly seeing operators now wanting to take a more proactive approach about looking at how they're going to manage their networks long term. So we've had, obviously, congestion discussion going on and a lot of data traffic. Data traffic, depending on which reports you look at, is growing anywhere from 10 times to 100 times every year. So the volumes are massive. But the operators, because the network is their crown jewel, they have to be very careful about deploying solutions. They can't just randomly try a bunch of new things and hope that it works. So we've been working with them on our unique client device-based approach to managing data traffic that allows them to have control over the device itself on which network it connects to and under what policies and conditions, taking into account the real-world scenario that their users are in, whether they're working in an office and connect to their office Wi-Fi network, or whether they're driving on the highway and need to connect to 3G or 4G. These are all the things that operators want to make sure that they are considering and allowing real-time management of the traffic to provide the best quality of experience for the subscribers, because the market's getting very competitive. And you can't just go for cheapest price, you can't just go for the flashiest device. You have to make sure that users who need their connectivity get the best experience no matter where they are.
Let me ask you my final question. What is the future of traffic management as per the way Smith, and what is the future of traffic management, and what role you think, what is the future of traffic management, what role that SmithMicro is playing in that role?
There's definitely a need for network providers, solution providers, device makers, and third-party software providers like SmithMicro to work together to solve these problems. It's going to be an integrated approach with all of the components working together in a standards-based manner. For example, the standard of ANDSF to provide policy control out to the devices. We're going to need to work together. We're going to need to be able to make these tools easier for the operators, not only to solve their basic cases today of relieving congestion and incorporating Wi-Fi, but the advanced use cases that maybe they're not even thinking about, being able to provide preferred roaming based on cost or performance, being able to solve things like allowing preferred content to be delivered over Wi-Fi, where normally those connections stop at the end of the operator network. Correct. And even being able to measure the user experience, getting some of that analytic data back from the user's devices. When you think about smartphones, tablets, etc., there's a lot of application software that you can apply in embedded software, but it's going to be important even for the M2M world. Instrumenting the cars, instrumenting your appliances, all of these things have an ability to feed back measurement data, metrics, so that the operator can see where they're getting the adequate performance and make sure that everybody and everything gets the network performance that they need.
I think at the end of the day, this is where the providers will see, using your tools, will see the cost savings, because they will know where to invest money to revamp their infrastructure.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're trying to offer. Not only a great experience for their subscribers, but the ROI and the efficiency that the operator needs to continue to grow.
All right. Thank you so much, Carla, for spending time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for stopping by.
And this was Carla Fitzgerald from SmithMicro, and my name is Nelson Proida from bnetTV at the Mobile World Congress 2013 in Barcelona.